emotions are valid, but the goal is not to be triggered every time. Never mind, it's just life. It's okay for my sanity to choose perfect peace, and I'll forever and always be here, present. I am enough as I am. I am fully equipped. Even when the tide and the current start to shift, I am adaptable. I am adaptable. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. It's safe for me to be grounded. The balance between problem solving and the universe working itself out. All that I have is all that I need. But to actualize it, I can't doubt, no doubt. My emotions are valid, but the goal is not to be triggered every time. Never mind, it's just life. It's okay for my sanity. I choose peace, and I'll forever and always be present. I am enough as I am. I am fully equipped. Even when the tide and the current start to shift, I am adaptable. I am adaptable. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. It's safe for me to be grounded in the present moment. I honor God when I honor me. I honor God when I honor you. You honor God when you honor me. If you don't honor God, how could you honor me? Honor me.
Is it true? You actually think of me as less than you. Just wish that I knew how something like that could happen. Maybe it's just in passing, 'cause nothing is everlasting, no. But like really though, how do you know that I can overcome all of the obstacles? She just looked me in the eyes, said it's gonna be alright, 'cause I know that's how it goes. The only thing we know is that we change. Nothing's ever gonna stay the same forever, forever. No, I won't, 'cause no one ever does. You just have to learn and learn to trust whenever, whenever. As blue as the sky above you, it's true that it won't end this way. If you lose and get sad about it, just know it's gonna go away. It doesn't make sense that somebody else got all of the praise when you did the same thing. It doesn't feel real when they all say it's the same rules when you play, when you know that's not the case. The only thing we know is that we change. Nothing's ever gonna stay the same forever. No, it won't, 'cause no one ever does. you just have to learn to trust whenever. As blue as the sky above you, it's true that it won't end this way. If you lose, then get sad about it. Just know it's gonna go away. As blue as the sky above you, it's true that it won't end this way. If you lose, then get sad about it. Just know it's gonna go away.
Good afternoon here on the East Coast. Good morning on the West Coast. Good day around the world. Whether you're evening, wherever you're tuning in from, we give thanks. Thank you for tuning in and listening to us as first of all, my name is Samion, and I'm the leader and founder of One Transformation Center. One Transformation Center, excuse my voice, where we celebrate humanity. And we're driven by our mission to inspire, motivate, and heal lives and relationships across the globe. We have a fantastic program for you today. As you know, we're continuing our 13-week series of the Magnanimous Manifestation. And this derives from the book called The Power of Magnanimous Manifestation. And it's working on being completed. And what we've done is we've created this series of practices that were encapsulated in the acronym manifestation. It is, just bear with me one moment here. There we go. So it's encapsulated in the manifestation. You see at the bottom scrolling, which created was mindfulness, again with M, mindfulness, attune, notate, initiate, fortify, execute, sanitize, transform, affirm, transcend, ignite, oath, and no limits. And today, we're focusing on transform. But let's begin. Let's really talk about what magnanimous manifestation is, first and foremost. And magnanimous manifestation, which can be a tongue twister, is the ability to create and attract positive experiences into one's life by having a generous and expansive mindset. For it is our belief that by focusing on abundance, gratitude, and good in every situation, one can attract more of the same. So when we approach life with a magnanimous mindset, we become open to receiving the blessings, the miracles, the opportunities that we may previously have overlooked. So by cultivating a sense of abundance, one can overcome limiting beliefs and see the potential for greatness in every situation. So Book's coming out soon. You can check it out and get more of an understanding. But I want you to understand that the power of magnanimous manifestation is not just about attracting material wealth or success. It's not. It's also about cultivating a deep sense of joy. A deep sense of joy. Now, you know, many of us are missing out on that piece. We don't have a lot of that in our lives these days. So it's something that we really desire to manifest, is that deep sense of joy, the sense of fulfillment and inner peace. So it is a reminder that we have the power to create our own realities. We can achieve anything we put our minds to. Okay? So ultimately, the power of manifestation, the power of magnanimous manifestation is it's about living life with an open heart, a generous spirit, and a willingness to see the good in every person and situation. It's about creating from more than just yourself. It's about manifesting a manifestation that extends beyond you, that's bigger than you, larger than you, that it's more expansive than just something that you can put your arms around or place ownership on. You know, some would even say it's godlike, because it's going to far exceed anything your lifetime, your children's lifetime. It's something that is so magnanimous, it's so big, so significant, that it impacts communities, it impacts states, cities, countries, and worlds. So that's why it's important for us to really get an understanding of what this is, and know that we have the ability to operate much larger into the space of infinite, the space of limitlessness. I'm sure you've heard the concept that we're thinking too small. You know, we're honoring and we're worshiping, or we're aligning ourselves with a small God, the small G instead of the big G. When the reality is there's so much more out there. We have a world right now that's full of chaos, simply due to the fact that there's this narrative that there's not enough, or there's only enough for me. We're here to change that narrative. We're here to give operation to the limitless, the narrative of limitlessness, the narrative of unlimitedness. Okay? So, magnanimous manifestation is a powerful concept of requiring a combination of dedication, focus, and action to achieve your personal goals and transformation. So let's go over to transformation. That's what we're here to talk about today, right? We're here to discuss that. Transform. To transform, what does that mean, first and foremost? Well, it's a process of undergoing a profound and lasting change. That's what transform means. It's to undergo a profound and lasting change. It's not something that's temporary. It's not something that's incremental. It's something that's lasting. And so through transformation, we let go of our limiting beliefs and our fears. We embrace new and empowered way of being. It's taking our clothes off and putting on a new wardrobe that gives us superpowers. And that is the exact reason why we're doing this series, because we want you to be able to tap into your superhero. Okay? So what we're going to touch today is we're going to touch some things. We're going to touch the art of inner alchemy. The art of inner alchemy. And giving us an understanding of what that is, what that means. You know, and understand the role in the inner transformation, because so frequently we're working on transforming things outside of ourselves. You know, we always are trying to change something or someone else. without realizing, excuse me, the only things that we can truly change are ourselves, our minds, our attitudes, and our actions. If you change your mind, your attitude, and your actions, then your character changes. The impact that you have upon your surroundings and the world at large begins to change. So the question you have to ask yourself is what you're being enough? Are you tired of being limited? Are you tired of allowing yourself to operate on a limited mindset, a limited capacity? Do you realize that you're only using a small portion of your brain? Excuse me. That you're only using a small portion of your brain. There's a whole side of our brain that many of us do not even tap into. Wouldn't you like to know what it feels like to experience a greater capacity of the biggest muscle in your body? I know I do. And that's why I'm tuned in, tapped in. That's why I'm subscribing. I've subscribed to the Magnanimous Manifestation, to this transformation, the art of inner alchemy. So let's talk about, what is this art of inner alchemy? What is this thing? But before we get into that, I want to just share a quote when it comes out of transformation. The quote says, "The only way to make sense of change is to plunge into it, move with it, enjoying the dance." I'll repeat that. The quote says, it's by Alan Watts. "The only way to make sense of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance." That's a quote by Alan Watts. Another one that will resonate with you is by Dr. Wayne Dyer, who says, "When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change." Again, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So the art of inner alchemy begins with inner transformation. And the power of inner transformation lies in the ability to change your thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions. By doing so, you create a new reality for yourself and manifest your desires into existence. Do you realize that the thing that limits you the most, that sabotages you the most, are your thoughts? And when they come up, you have the power and the ability to change them right there. And not allow them to linger, not allow them to fuel them, to give them life. If we begin to change our thoughts, when we know that they no longer serve in our interests, then we can realize new thoughts. And the experiences that come with those thoughts that are limitless, those thoughts that give us life, those thoughts that move and affirm us. Now, transformation requires a willingness to open up your mind. You have to be open to change. You have to be willing to let go of old patterns and beliefs. And yes, it can be uncomfortable. Initially, yeah, absolutely. You may even say, "Man, where's the benefits to this? This don't feel good." That's why we have to understand that feelings can be disguised. Ego can disguise feelings. It can be the thing that tethers you back, pulls you back into a space that doesn't serve you. So you have to put your feelings on the back burner and allow yourself to be present with the facts, and be reconnected with you, and be deeply connected with your why. Why am I here? Why have I made these decisions? Why do I desire to transform? And by moving to that space, then you give credence, and you have the conviction to continue the journey. And when you do, the rewards are grand. Grand. And so let's talk about the role of inner transformation, because that's what inner alchemy is: transformation, inner transformation, inside work. When you go inside and change the dynamics. Think about alchemy. When you think about alchemy, you think about the translation of energy and metal. But when we're talking about alchemy, we're talking about the changing of mind, changing of your energy and your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits. They're being changed, which is an inside job. We have to understand the inner transformation support with releasing our limiting beliefs and our negative thought patterns. Why? Because they're blocking us from achieving our goals. They're blocking us from being able to have a fulfilling life. They're locking us into a space of conformity, placing us into a narrative that we must concede to the wishes of another. Meaning, I cannot go out and fulfill my passions, live my passion, live my dreams, fulfill my goals. Can't go out there and be able to utilize the gifts that are within me because my belief system says I can't. My belief system says that I must be here. I have bought into the reality, though, to the idea that someone has shared with me that I'm better used in this space. And if I want to be successful, if I want to have a home, if I want to have a family, if I desire to have a financial freedom, so on and so forth, have a good life, have a retirement, that I must do it this way, which is counteracting the truth of who we are, which is preventing us from being able to stand in the space as our unique genius. And what you don't realize is when you choose the other narrative, now you're not showing up on purpose. Hence the reason why you're asking, what is my purpose? Because you made a contract. You made an agreement with the Creator before you came here. That you would provide, you would show up in this way, that you would be this thing, but yet you've placed that thing on the shelf in order to subscribe to the world. As if that's the only way you could possibly achieve what you feel your desires are. You gotta let it go. You have to let it go. And of course, it's not easy at first. We've been programmed. So you have to go through a process of deprogramming, purging and ridding all of these narratives, these ideas, these philosophies that are preventing you from living your best life now. You've been told a lie that your best life exists in this box. Your best life doesn't exist in that box. It's not even in that box. It's so much bigger than that box. So won't you allow yourself to shift from that box and let go of that box, to retire it? Speaking of letting go, let's talk about the importance of letting go. Why it is important to let go. Especially if those limiting beliefs and those fears, this cannot be overstated. For the limiting beliefs and fears are the thoughts and the emotions which undermine your achievements. They're going to allow you to see a measure of success. But if you heard me correctly, I said a measure. Don't you deserve much more than a measure? Think about all the energy and effort you put out to achieve just a measure. And then you complain, everything that I've contributed, this is all I get back. So let's look at it as an investment. Are you happy with the return on investment that you are receiving from your career, from your job, from your relationships, from yourself? Are you happy with the rate of return, the ROI that you're receiving based upon the output that you're putting in? Are you happy? Is it satisfying to you? And when I say satisfied, I don't mean are you comfortable. That's different. Because when we need to transform, that means we need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. The ability to shift. The ability to allow ourselves to be able to experience something that's unfamiliar to us. You know, Einstein said, when you continuously do something and expect a different result, I'm paraphrasing. That's the definition of insanity. So when you continue the same things, when you make the same decisions, when you choose the same options and expect a different result, that's insanity. That's insanity. Can you afford to continue to be insane? I'm going to ask you again. Can you afford to continue to be insane? And are you working as hard as you're working? Are you putting the output, as much output as you're putting into your life, your experiences, your situations and circumstances, in order for you to get the return of insanity? I think not. Hence the reason why we must let go. We must let go of everything and anything that no longer supports us, that is no longer in alignment with the truth of who we are. Not who we have chosen to be, but the truth of who you are. You know who that is. It's the thing that you said, if I could do it for free, I would do it. That's who you are. It's that who you are is the space and the idea of a person who has the multiple, that happiness that is exuberant and that you feel like you cannot even tap into because of the choices that you've made. That's who you are. Who are you as you're free? You know, some of us say, well, you know, I am free. Well, I say there's different levels of freedom. You may not be enslaved to a process, to a thing, to a person, to an idea, to a job, to a relationship. You may not be enslaved to it, but you sure can be an indentured servant, feeling like you're constantly trying to pay your way out of it. You don't have any sense of ownership. Joy is limited. You know, at the end of the day, you don't own anything. Doesn't benefit you as great as it should, as you feel like it should, but yet you remain. You're free. You're not enslaved. Even is a quote that's been attributed to the great Harriet Tubman. It says, if I would have freed more if they knew they were slaves. Some of us have accepted the Emancipation Proclamation and we demand that we'll never be a slave again, but at the same time, we can be slaves to our own minds, slaves to our own thoughts, our own philosophies, our own ideas. And if not, then you're certainly an indentured servant. Since you're unwilling to step out and take the risk to be your best self, to truly be an extension and reflection of the Creator. To truly stand in your unique genius. That thing that no one else can do better than you. That thing which you're special at. The world needs it. And you're preventing it from occurring. You have to ask yourself, why don't you? It's okay. I understand. The why is fear, false evidence appearing real. The why is limiting beliefs. The why is uncertainty. The why is lack of validation. Or the buy-in to other people's narratives. That's why. But if you can just let go and choose differently. And when it comes down to it, it's not even about anyone else outside of yourself. It's about you changing your mind. You changing your behaviors. You changing your thoughts. You changing your actions. And this will place you firmly on the road of transformation. Now, how can you help and how can you continuously show up in that space and allow yourself to be consistent in that space? Well, that's when the power of affirmations comes in and visualizations. Because you have to put new thoughts in there. Thoughts that are so affirming you, thoughts that are reminding you of who you are, thoughts that are setting you up to keep going. Thoughts that are reminding you to let go of those things or the changing of the narrative. If you hear a thought that says, I can't do this, well, I'm sorry to say you're right. If that's the choice you made, who am I to tell you you're wrong? You can't. But I'll also tell you, you can do anything you put your mind to. You can achieve all things through that strength which strengthens you. If you put your head to it, you can achieve it. If you see it, if you think it, if you dream it, you can achieve it. Here's another idea, limiting thought. It's impossible. Is it? And I agree. If you say it's impossible to you, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now, I know there's some church folks on here that say, well, there's nothing impossible for God. There's nothing too hard for God. Well, let me tell you this. You're absolutely correct. However, the God of our being is waiting for us to show up in our divinity. Show up as its reflection and extension. So the question is, how are you going to change? How are you going to allow yourself to be in alignment with your best self? And that's where affirmations come in. Remember I said the word impossible? What if I told you that you can get something out of that's affirming? What if I told you, if you separate those first two letters, how would you see the word then? Let me make it visual for you. If you separate the first two letters of impossible, this is what you would see. This is what you would see. You would see I'm possible. You see it as an invitation to show up. You would see it as the strongest affirmation, the strongest two words that anything follows, it gives life to. The strongest two words in the English language are I am. And following anything that follows those two words, life is invoked into it. Life is breathed into it. So instead of saying, oh, that's impossible, how about saying, oh, I'm possible. That's an invitation for me to show up. Right there, I see that. That's an invitation for me to show up. Because there's nothing impossible to the God of your being. Are you going to sit here and tell me that the Creator, which said that I created you in my own image, who created this entire world and the heavens and firmaments thereof, and whatever you're saying is impossible, you're going to say to that entity, which is within you, that something's impossible? Or is it impossible to your ego, which is constantly edging God out? You got to make a decision. You got to let the ego die. The ego cannot be relevant in this space because it is self-sabotaging. It is self-sabotaging. But you got to let it go. Also, so get you some affirmations that invoke, that speak life into you, that you can listen to, that you can remind yourself on a consistent basis. Because our thoughts and our beliefs shape our reality. And by consciously directing our thoughts towards positive and empowering beliefs, we can change our lives for the better. Visualizations. Put together some vision boards. Do some videos that remind you of what it is that you desire to achieve that keep you connected. I'm not just telling you this because I wrote a book. I'm not just telling you because this is something cool to hear. I'm telling you this because I'm living it in this very moment. I can be carried and I can be overwhelmed with fear and apprehension. It can make some quick decisions that may circumvent my blessing. It may prevent me from being able to realize the miracles I am entitled to. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to minimize or mitigate the miracles that you are entitled to? I don't, for one. I don't desire that at all. So as we were talking about the inner alchemy, the art of inner alchemy, let's really talk about, let me go back to that one real quick. Let's talk about what that means. It's a process of inner transformation, which is a metaphorical spiritual practice that seeks to change and redefine the inner nature of an individual, ultimately leading to a deeper understanding of oneself and the universe. It involves a deep exploration of one's own consciousness and the inner workings of the mind, using techniques such as meditation, visualization, and breath work to cultivate a higher level of awareness. There's a wonderful quote by an author by the name of Elizabeth Gilbert. The quote goes, transmutation is the alchemy of the soul. Transmutation is the alchemy of the soul. So let's understand what transmutation is. Transmutation is the power of turning negative energy or emotions into positive energy or emotions. It involves recognizing and acknowledging negative emotions and then consciously working to shift them into positive ones through techniques. We just talked about one of them being self-reflection. You have to be open to reflect, to be accountable, to be honest with yourself about where you are and how you think. We can go into the process of transmutation, but we'll do that another time. But mindfulness, know that mindfulness, the practice of mindfulness, being aware, being present right now, being present in your time, your situations, being present at all times, being present is a significant part of the process of healing, of transitioning into your transformed self. It's going through the process, the art of inner alchemy, of transmutation. But let's talk about the role of self-love and self-care in the alchemical process. Well, you already know that they're essential based upon the conversations we had, right? But one, they take care of our physical, emotional, and spiritual needs. It means making more time for self, emerging into nurturing activities, and treating ourselves with kindness and compassion. You know there's nobody harder on you than you. We beat ourselves up consistently, tear ourselves down. Nobody does it better than we do. But we'll get mad at somebody else if they attempt to do it. But yet we don't correct ourselves. That's interesting, isn't it? If we begin to correct ourselves, then no one else will even begin to think or consider taking that position. But we give people permission to show up that way because we teach them how to treat us. We teach people how to treat us. We give them all this latitude and grace in gray area and grace period. We give them all these things and wonder why they're acting the way they're acting. We gave them permission. They're essential components of the alchemical process. By prioritizing the practice, we create a foundation of self-worth and inner strength. So we have to begin to work towards embracing the new you. This is important. In the spirit, last week was the Resurrection Sunday, Easter. Even in this season of spring, it's all about resurrection, welcoming the renewed you. That's what we do with our flowers. We see them and we recognize them. We identify them as the renewed version of themselves. The grass, it browns through the winter. And then it comes back green and full of life. The trees, the leaves fall off the trees. They turn and fall off the trees. But yet they return to provide us with beauty and covering from the sun. Shade. This is us too. Think about it. Many of you, when it gets cold, you put on weight. When it gets warm again, you shed the weight. So we have to learn how to begin to embrace the new you instead of just going through the motions. The resurrection is happening through us all the time. But how are we seizing it? How are we really honoring it? How are we really aligning with it so that we can tap into its full power? That's something that we need to have a discussion about. So in this new you, you'll become more aware of your emotions, your thoughts, and your behaviors, and begin aligning them with your goals. Some call that manipulating. You'll manipulate your thoughts, your ideas, your emotions with your goals. Your behaviors with your goals. That's good. Instead of using we always talk about, and one idea is, I call it anonymous. We say, you are a great addict, even though you may not consider yourself to be a great addict, but anybody who can become addicted and sustain their addiction for long periods of time, that's success. And we have to begin to learn how to use that success to reap positive success. What was it about them, or you who were addicted? What was it about you that drove you to maintain that addiction? Because there's some drive there. What if you could shift that drive from that addiction into becoming into the new you? What if you could do that? What if you did that? What would your life be? What if you shifted that addiction, that energy, that fortitude, the thing that compelled you for whatever your addiction was? What if you transferred that into your journey of self-discovery, your journey of self-care? What if? So we're so quick to put things aside because we feel like it had a negative attribute. But man, come on. If you were a phenomenal drug dealer, why not just find you something legal to replace the illegal with? Use that same energy that you were using to accomplish what you accomplished to realize a new you. See, some of us, we're so quick to want to get as far as possible away from the things that we see as negative, but we don't want you to do that. We want you to transmute them. Go through this process of transmutation. Take those things and use them for something that benefits you. And watch the high you get off of that. Why? Because inner transformation leads to external transformation. What you transform on the inside, how you show up on the inside, will always extend itself externally. Think about it. How many people, all these people out here trying to do anything to enhance their physical beauty? Why? Because they haven't spent the time enhancing who they are on the inside. If they did, then they would be well pleased with the outside. They have a sense of confidence and security that be unmatched by anything that was made in a laboratory. So we have to make sure that we begin to align. We have to align and begin to embrace our authentic self. When we do that, align with our mission, align with the plans, align with our new selves, with our transformation, then we'll begin to realize the opportunities that are really out there for us, the spaces that are truly available to us. I challenge you to allow yourself to go through that inner alchemy, that transmutation. Change your mind, Change your thoughts, change your behavior, change your actions, change your way of being. And be dedicated to get you some affirmations that you recite several times a day. I have some, as a matter of fact. Let me share them with you. It's in my workbook for this book as well. I have a workbook on this book and affirmations. So I'm going to share the affirmations with you now. Here's some affirmations. I am worthy of love and respect, and I honor myself with kindness and compassion. I am worthy of love and respect, and I honor myself with kindness and compassion. Oh boy, I don't see any sabotage in that statement. Another is, I trust in the universe to guide me towards my highest good, and I am open to all the blessings that come my way. I don't see any limitations in that statement. Another is, I release all limiting beliefs and embrace the infinite possibilities of my life. Let's speak about one particular limiting belief. What if you took the shackles off of God? I'm going to say it again. What if you took the shackles off of God? What would your life be? What would your experience be? What would your relationship be? Your spiritual constitution be if you took the shackles off the Creator? Meaning that you went and got your own personal relationship that wasn't confined with anybody else's ideology. That was a one-on-one. That you allowed yourself to be led and guided by the truth of who you are. That you understood that the kingdom of God is within you, not outside of you. Because as you stand right now, the kingdom of God is without you. Catch that if you can. So it's imperative that you take the shackles off. Another is, I am capable of achieving my dreams, and I take action towards my goals every day. I'm capable of achieving my dreams, and I take action towards my goals every day. Man, do you know how much we sabotage ourselves or tell ourselves that we don't deserve? That we're undeserving? We can't do that. This is too hard. If only I had some help. If only I had more money, this, that, and the other. Constantly telling ourselves, making excuses of why we can't show up. I have a personal philosophy. No excuses, only solutions. No excuses, only solutions. Well, there's many more affirmations here. I'm willing to share them with you so that you can share them throughout your week as well. Or you can create your own. It's fine with me either way. But I want to close out in a prayer. Join me by bowing our heads. For those who are able to close your eyes, close your eyes. Those who aren't, soften your gaze, please. Dear universe, higher power, God, the divine source, we say thank you. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your compassion. Thank you for your joy. Thank you for your presence in us, through us, as us, and for us. We come to you with an open heart and mind, ready to receive your guidance and love. We acknowledge that we are co-creators of our reality, and that our thoughts, feelings, and actions shape our experiences. Today, We choose to release any limited beliefs or negative patterns that no longer serve us. We surrender them to you, knowing that you will transmute them into love and light. We ask for your support and guidance as we continue our journey of transformation. Help us to stay aligned with our highest self and our desired outcomes. Show us the way to live our purpose and to serve others with love and compassion. Thank you for all the blessings in my life and for the infinite possibilities that are available to me, that are available to us. We trust that everything is working out for the highest and good of all. And so it is. And so it is. Amen and Ashe. We are grateful. Well, thank you for sharing this time with me today. Thank you for allowing me to empower you and to impact you, to share this information that's in this book. Please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the social media locations at Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at One Transformation Center. Especially on YouTube, set the notification bell so that you know exactly when we're coming on or when we're placing when we have any content that's uploaded. And in addition, we say thank you for investing in yourself. We're grateful. We're grateful. We're grateful. We want you to know that you are loved. You are a walking example of love because you are an extension and reflection of the love maker who made love without conditions. So if you're loving someone or being loved conditionally, you may want to reconsider that. You deserve to be loved and to love unconditionally. Receive that. Receive that. And allow your life to transform in a magnanimous way. Until next time, be great, ladies and gentlemen. We love you. Also, see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the morning manifestations session. Tomorrow, here, same place, at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you. Take care of yourselves.